we worked on the back a little bit. I mean, look on the front some. Let's look at the back. The back is the same thing. It's just that we have equations instead of expressions. Remember, equations are just have equal signs. Expressions with equal signs. So, always a good idea. Think about what this actually means. Like, this means what number divided by 20 is 8. Right, so you know this must be a big number. Some big number divided into 20 equal pieces. Our size 8. So if we know that this is division, then you can say, well, do the opposite, which is multiplication. Now these cancel out, but cancel out in this case means equals 1. 20 divided by 20 is 1, or just 1x. 8 times 2 is 16, so 8 times 20 is 160. And you can always do a check. Is 160 divided by 20 equal to 8? There is. So when you just have a single number on the bottom, remember that's division. So number 15 is very similar. It's just 14 in the denominator instead of 20. So you can use 14 as the example. Sure you write down the work and you have it there, so when you go to do 15, you have something to work on. When you get to coefficients, the number in front of the variable is called the coefficient. When you get to problems with coefficient fractions, that's where you have to do the reciprocal. Now, it's still the same goal. We're trying to get 1. We'll multiply by 20 to get 20 over 20, which equals 1. Every time you see just an x, it means 1x. You don't really usually write the 1x. You write x. But that's always your goal, is trying to figure out how much 1x is equal to. Okay. So same thing here. How can we get a 1? Well, we have to get rid of dividing by 5 by multiplying by 5. We have to get rid of multiplying by 4 by dividing by 4. So it's like doing two things at once. So you cancel out the division and the multiplication simultaneously. Of course, keep this thing balanced, same thing on both sides. And with multiplication, remember it's a little bit easier than addition. No common denominators, and if possible, like on here, you can just cross cancel. Okay. And also 5 and 5, those cancel out, which means they equal 1. Here, 4 goes into 4 one time, 4 goes into 8 two times. So it's 2 times 1 over 1 times 1, which is equals to the answer. So it turns out if you do the original problem, 4/5 times 2 is 8/5. This makes sense, because you just multiply 4 times 2 to get 8. All right, so it's the same thing for the next few problems. Only thing that changes is that the variable might be on the other side. So like on number 18, if you look at number 18, all right, the variable is on the right-hand side. If you prefer, you can do this. You notice most of the time the variable and the fraction are together. Here they are. So you can just move this down here, blot it out, and then just do the same steps. All right, so tell me though, look here closely, what is wrong with this?
Can't read. Wait, you can take the 5 out?
What am I missing on this?
A negative.
A negative. So be very careful. There's a negative there. It doesn't look like this is a -5. It doesn't look like that, but it's out front. So you have to put it one part. Don't put it on the top and bottom. It's just on one of them. Very easy to forget. Now, here's what I'd like you to do, though. I mentioned earlier this week, I want to get a calculator that can do fractions. A TI-30X or something like that, or a TI-34, even better, TI-36. They range from about $8 to $20 maximum. You can punch in fractions on those calculators and give you the simplified answer. You don't have to hassle with all the canceling, the common denominators, and all that stuff. That's something that you want to do. Small investment, and it'll take you a long way. You don't want to be the difference of passing algebra and graduating high school could be that, well, I just didn't want to pay $10 for a calculator. You know, that was too much. I know I'm not graduating high school, but $10, I can't do it. Yeah, so if you get your priorities straight, get a good calculator, it'll make your life so much easier. And you might find out that maybe you're really good at math. Like you know what to do, but maybe not great at arithmetic, like I have to cancel this and I got to come down to that. If you know what the steps are, but you get stuck with just calculations, well, if you have a calculator, you don't have that problem. So we can do that. So everything cancels out, including the negatives, and we're left with just B. Alright, without a calculator, you'll have to go through here and do some cross canceling, which is still doable, it's fine. So 5 goes into 20 4 times, 5 goes into 5 1 time. If you know your 9s times tables, you know that 9 goes into both of those, so 9 goes into 27, 9 goes into 63. So the answer is 12 over 7. And the rule is leave it as a improper. You do not have to change this to like 1 and 5 7, so it makes something. You can leave it just like that. Right. Please box your answer so it's obvious of what you want to be graded and what your answer is. Okay. Nope. The negative though, don't you? Very good. Negative 12 7. This one. Very good. Very good. Now you'll find out a few things the longer we get in the school year. Number one, my eyesight's slowly getting worse. A little negative and harder to see than it used to be. And also my hearing's getting a little worse. I don't quite hear people that kind of mumble or talk real, have a low voice. You gotta project your voice so I can understand you. Not that you're talking too low, just that I can't hear that great. So, all right. Look on the back. Are there any others you want me to go over before you work with your team? 17, 21, I'm hearing. 22? Okay. That's good enough. That's enough. I'll do a few. Now, 17 is very similar to number 16. Obviously, you do that. Yeah. So instead of 4/5, have a coefficient of 4/5. Coefficient is just 1/2, right? So instead of multiplying by 5 over 4, now you have to multiply by the reciprocal. Have to multiply. Just like number 16. Just change the numbers, but the algebra is the same. Do this to both sides. You have to flip the fraction. Just the numbers and calculations. Well, if it works all the time, then you can do it. Yeah, I'm not saying if you have a different way of doing it and it gets the same right answer continuously. Yeah, that's one. 22. Here's a good one. So switch gears. You can see that this is a negative or minus r minus 5 and 1/10. So we're not doing multiplying, dividing anymore. Now you have to do adding, subtracting. Do the opposite. Both sides. Add 5 and 1/10 to both sides. Canceling out here means it equals 0. Negative 5 and 1/10 plus 5 and 1/10, that is 0, and we're left with 1 r equals. And now we have to figure out what 4/5 plus 5 and 1/10 is. So sidebar, what we did yesterday, I showed you that 5 and 1/10 is the same as 5 plus 1/10, right? And now we're adding 4/5 to that. Highly recommend that you do this part, get that answer, and then the answer is going to be 5 and whatever this comes out to be. We could convert it to an improper fraction, and we'll have very, very large numbers. They'll still get the same answer. This, if you don't have a calculator, though, it's a lot easier. The numbers are smaller. So we'll have, let's see here. Common denominator is 10. 10 goes both those, so that stays the same. The second one will have, that's 8/10. So our final answer will be 9/10. So 5 and 9/10. And if you convert it to 51/10, it didn't come denominator, so you get like 59/10 as your answer. If we convert this, you can see 10 times 5 plus 9 is 15. So it worked out either way. That should give you enough to keep you going. I'm going to leave this up here so you can write down anything you weren't able to write down. But if you ask me a question, call me over. I'm going to point to these examples and say, well, look, here we did the opposite. We did added 5 and 1/10. So what's the opposite of over here? Oh, opposite of positive 2 is negative 2. This is the algebra. So again, if you know how to do this part, you can understand that you're supposed to subtract certain things to both sides. You're almost all the way there. And if you get stuck on the arithmetic, again, please invest a little bit in your future education. Come up with $8.50 to do the TI-30 calculator that can do this fraction for you. Change your life forever. All right, go to work. We'll take a quiz. Last 15 minutes of the period.